All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor be unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kabadash.
double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who have labored and taught us this truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing this word in truth, sincerity, and indeed. We are a branch of Great Millstone Chicago, coming at you again, all right, with some more of it this week. All right, y'all know what to do, Jeremiah 28.
This the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right. War, evil, and pestilence, okay? What's going on as far as the update with the war front? The U.S. is getting ready to send cluster bombs to Ukraine. Now, why is that a big deal? Because cluster bombs were deemed against international law, all right? The 97% of the casualties of cluster bombs that the U.S. is sending to Ukraine, 97% of those casualties are civilians, women and children, all right? And guess what? The munitions, just because they drop them in clusters, some of the munitions do not even go off. They just lay there, but they look like toys to a small child. So when a small child goes and picks it up, boom, all right? Now you have more so-called, innocent children and women, all right, becoming casualties of a war, which is a war crime.
That continued to happen in Vietnam for decades, right? Because they left behind so much munitions, So, and then those different Shalom, beloved, a lot of those different complex conflicts that happen in and around Cambodia, the same thing, man. They leave all those munitions behind. And little children, running through the jungle playing soccer, whatever, they end up, Shalom, beloved, and they end up stepping on those mines or picking them up and losing an arm or leg or their life, man. And that's a really messed up thing for a kid that's 8, 9 years old to lose a leg, lose a arm, to lose a sight and have to live the rest of their life like that, Right. That's now we know that that the Lord, allowed that to happen, when things like that happen. But nevertheless, it's still fucked up, that you have a people that claim to, like, they love children and love people, with all these different but yet they constantly giving children, all these different medical things that cause all kind of issues. And when you bring it up, you get strikes or called false information, But it's a proven fact. If they just won't acknowledge the science or acknowledge the facts behind the science, but that when they started all these different medical situations with little children, that the autism and all these other different diseases, increased among children once these things were implemented. And prior to that, children weren't getting sick like that. All right, because with these people, they're anti-life. All right. They're all about death, man. All right, get Isaiah 8:20 and see they follow not the way of the Lord, the way of truth. And when you don't follow the way of truth, all you're gonna do is create death and experience death when you don't follow the truth. Somebody got that real quick?
This is Isaiah 8:20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Right. So the only truth is the Holy Scriptures, man. And you can't mix Isaiah 34:16. You can't mix the Bible with any other books or any other doctrines. All right. I just saw the video where the guy's trying to argue the Bering Strait thing. It was a video that Elder Yashawamba did. He been laying out bangers lately, man. Him and Apostle Ramla have been on fire, man. Like they've been tag teaming. But, there was this Edomite that was complaining about the Hebrew Israelites. And what he was complaining about was that, well, they're looking for reparations. I'm like, well, ain't no cap out here asking for reparations. We're asking for the kingdom.
That's right.
All right? We don't want why we want reparations in a money that's about to go digital?
Right.
Why we want reparations in a money that's collapsing?
It's a lot, GMS ain't asking. Because I can't speak for you other niggas, man. I ask you, BK, That sounds like some shit y'all would be up to. But
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
You know what I mean?
But I know it ain't, and I know it's not the men of the Lord.
That's
you know,
right.
it's not the men of, of the Great Millstone.
That's right.
Con.
The men of GMS is not asking for reparations. We asking for the kingdom.
That's
That's
right.
Matter of
right.
fact, we ain't asking you for shit. We know we taking
taking
it.
it. Let's
That's
go.
right.
The scripture said we gonna take it, man.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right, including the spoils of your household,
That's right.
wife and daughters included.
Yep.
We on that run that doctrine.
Run the pot.
All right, that's what we on up that. You know,
I got that Daniel.
bring it out, brother. Whoever got it.
Con, it's the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom.
So it said the saints of the Most High gonna take the kingdom. We ain't asking you for a damn thing. All right, we ain't waiting for you. The scriptures clearly said we gonna take it, man, and the Lord gonna give us the power and the way to do so.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Daniel 7 and 18. But the saints. Damn, what the fuck happened to my phone? It's a lot.
Now your phone has been through the battle, brother.
Absolutely. I'm surprised it's holding on. Daniel 7 and 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
So there it is, man. So this is all you know, that this guy that's making this complaint, this Edomite, is, you know, it doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. All right, he has no idea, because we're not asking for reparations. We're asking for the kingdom of the Lord. We're waiting for our king to return, man. The scriptures clearly say that they would look for their king. And who is our king? Well, we got two of them. We got King David and we got King Yahushua. All right, we're waiting on them both. Okay, that's what we're waiting for. It's simply, as a matter of fact, it says that they're King David. It tells you that. All right, we waiting on we the kings, man. And we waiting on the Lord to come and let the whole world know who his men are.
That's right.
All right? 2nd Ezra 16:73. That's what we waiting for. Okay? I don't know what this guy's talking about. Then he's coming up with this bull crap about you got to go to court and the only way you're going to get reparations is you find the actual individual and then you find out what lands and what that he took and the receipts and that, and then you got to go to court. You got to have three or more witnesses, like the script. When do you Christians start going to the Old Testament, following the law? You've been saying the law done away with. Now you trying to use the law to protect yourself, and then he trying to deny the Northern Kingdom and trying to throw the Barren Strait doctrine in there. That's another doctrine. That's not biblical. That's man-made. That's pseudoscience. Somebody get that Isaiah real quick.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
you
the
can
book
get
of-
that too.
This book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate, for my mouth hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
So there it is, man. So the spirit of the Lord is going to gather the truth and the men of the Lord, man. So you know you can go on somewhere with your false science, with your chemic, your back to Africa, all that mess. You know that's a whole different race of people, man. All right, that's not who you are. Okay, you can go on with that whole Asiatic doctrine, man. All right, that's all man-made and make-believe. That's not true. All right, the only truth is the Bible, man. The Bible is not a religious book. It's a history book. It's the most accurate book that was ever written.
That's right.
Right, the whole history of the world can be found in it. All right, and the events that took place in the world were written in it before they even happened. That's the power of this book. You're not gonna be able to do that with no other book, man. All right, even every week you hear Farrakhan and his men reading scriptures out of the Bible. Why is that? Because ain't no prophecies in the Quran.
Not one.
There's no prophecies in the
Not
Book
one.
of the Dead.
Not one.
All right, it's just said it's dead.
Right.
Ain't no
No
prophecies in that book.
No
You're not
life.
gonna find out what's happening in those books.
Right.
All right, read. Shalom, beloved. Yahbashim
This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called.
Yeah, so you can take your false science that you're trying to mix with the scriptures on, man. You know, I done spoke about that many a time, how they tried to take that Johann Blumenbach doctrine, that false white superiority doctrine, and try to mix it with the scriptures. And they tried to make Ham, Shem, and Japhet a Negroid, a Caucasoid, and a Mongoloid. That's a made-up folly, man. That's all a lie. That's not true. That's something they made up. So you can't bring up the Bible and then bring up pseudoscience together to try to defend yourself.
God.
You sitting at you, and then you get on screen to make a video. You can't look, man. If you don't know what you're talking about, be quiet. All right. Okay. Don't come up. Don't step up to speak about something that you don't know about. I'm not going to debate you on trying to find the square root of some stuff. Of the particle of this mineral of that. I'm gonna look like a fool, man. All right.
It's folly anyway.
It's completely folly, brother.
Because it has nothing to do with salvation.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you cannot equate any of your ideology to prophecy or salvation, it's null. It's all vain. You know what I'm saying? All right. The scriptures say, "Hey, Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy." The Lord said, "He said,
I was just about to get it, brother.
The water.
No, but go ahead. You keep.
You know, the Lord told you in the book of Isaiah. He said, "What? Produce your cause.
You said
Show
it,
me
I
the
was
things
going
that
for
are going to come to pass. Show me the things that ain't happened yet." You know what I mean? He said, "Produce your cause." He challenged you, right? Your idol can't say they gave you this information. All right, these weird spirits can't say they gave you this information. All right, like we were saying, all these other different ideologies and philosophies, they can't give you the information that's prevalent to today. They can't give you this. They can't give you this. This right here is live and in your face. This right here is the Great Reset. This right here is the so-called New World Order.
And you're living it. The whole world is going digital right now as we speak.
Right now.
All right, and how are they going to control that digital? They're going to eventually control it through that.
That's right.
Yep. Right? And the beauty of it is that, and it's going to make life very, very hard for everyone. Everyone is about to have a hard time. Shalom, mighty man. Everybody's going to have a hard time building up to this. But you know what? They have a bounds that they cannot pass. All right? Because as soon as they said in the fullness of their sufficiency, all right, they should be in straits, man.
That's right.
So as soon as they implement, they pushing this digital, but as soon as they make it mandatory for everybody to receive this, it's a wrap. That when it's time for that charagma. Didn't I call for 2nd Ezra 16?
This is 2nd Ezra.
Somebody bring it out.
You got it?
I got it.
My man.
This 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire.
So we getting ready to go through something. But at the end of it, you're going to see who the Lord's true chosen is, man. Everybody's going to see it. There's going to be no more argument of who the Lord's really with and who his people really are. All right? And it ain't people that walk around in little hats, all right, that have no rhythm either. It ain't them. All right? This is Revelation 19:10, and it reads, "And I fell at his feet to worship, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren, and have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship God, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy." All right? So once again, if you can't prophesy, if you can't go into your book or whatever it is you believe in and go and talk about the things that are going to happen, all right? Talk about the things that did happen that were written before they happened.
Let's go.
All right? Then you don't know what you're talking about, man.
That's right.
You know, and it's so funny how all these roaches come out of the woodwork trying to disprove the truth of the Bible, trying to disprove the doctrine. You can say what you want to say, man. Right. The slave trade from 1492, all right, all the way up until they ended it in the 18th century, that was recorded in the Bible, and it was recorded in the Bible 1,000+ years before it happened, man.
Yep.
All right.
Let's go.
The curses that were written,
You got to do it
right? It was prophesied that would happen, man. Okay, and the people that, because he tried to come against the fact that the natives of America are Israelites, and he's trying to call them. Then he tried to say that they was Moab. So wait a minute. So how you going to acknowledge Moab, but then try to make the Gadites? Because see, I'm gonna tell you what happened in the 1500s, in the 1600s, in the 1700s, and in the 1800s. You had all kind of scholars, all right, college scholars, all right, that wrote about the Native Americans being Israelites and their Israelite heritage, their connection to the Jewish tribes, and all the stuff in books, all the relics that were found. Is the evidence that you had so many, man. You James Adair, Ronald Sanders, and the list just goes on and on and on and on, man. All these different people that wrote about it, okay? And then he's gonna try to come with that weak, barren straight, man. That you can't cross the Bering Strait today without ice-breaking ships. All right? And so just by your science, if you had millions of people walk across the Bering Strait on foot and survived it, where are all the bones? Where are all the bodies and the relics that would prove that doctrine to be true?
And they'll be preserved too.
It will be preserved because they will be frozen.
Yep.
Secondly, what did they eat?
Snow.
How did they eat?
Snow cones.
Ice.
Right?
Icy.
Wait, what they was actually
Breezy.
what were they hunting? Wolves?
Yellow
Right.
snow.
All right. Laugh now, cry later.
That's right.
All right. Laugh now, cry later, man. The truth is ugly and it's scary and it's looking you in your face, and you too full of pride and foolishness to even acknowledge it, man. All right. But that's okay. Like I said, we're gonna find out who the Lord's chosen is real
right.
soon. You're gonna find out how much you've been lied to. Because we live in an age of information, and all the history about what happened in Europe in the Dark Ages, you know, all that history is coming out now, man.
Right.
And there's no, you know, so making all these movies lying about Bach and Beethoven, you know, all that, those days are done. It's over with, man.
Right.
The truth is coming out to your shame and your detriment. And then, and it's amazing to me how the truth is now being labeled as hate.
Of course.
All right, you tell the truth about something, you full of hate now.
That's right. That's right. And that's a move against the men of the Lord.
That's what it really comes down to. All these other entities and all these other things that are happening is really a shot at us.
Right.
All right, because we're the truth threat only because we're telling the truth about who's really who on this earth, man, who the Lord's true people are. And they have a problem with that because you got to understand, we're living in a place that has been established on nothing but lies. And even the common citizen is finding out every time they go on the internet, they're finding out something new about something that they believed in to have been a lie, or finding out the truth about something. I was watching a comedy skit where a high school teacher is showing a presentation, and they're showing the moon landing, and then one kid raised his hand, all right. And so the teacher's ignoring him at first, but he keep raising his hand, so he finally calls on him, and the kid asks him, who was shooting the video? Because he's showing you the videotape of the first, this right here is the first moonwalk, first guy to walk on the moon.
Right.
And the kid was like, well, how could he be first? Because the dude shooting the video had to get there before him, basically, and that's something I've been screaming since I was a kid.
Elder, on top of that, the president answered the phone with a landline.
Yeah, exactly.
He showed
But
it.
they can't communicate with a submarine
Exactly.
that's on Earth and shit.
Right,
They
and
got lost.
and the president picks up a landline and talks to the people on the moon.
How?
And you idiots still to this day, and then they even show you in their own science books that the human being cannot pass through the Van Allen belt.
Right.
All right. Well, I got news for you people. You got to go through the Van Allen belt to get to the moon.
That's right.
All right. Do your own research, man. Stupid. I'm not gonna sit up and argue with you back and forth, man. But you do have to go through the Van Allen belt to get to the moon. In case you didn't know, now you know.
Right.
All right,
even
go do
Esau
some research.
says it.
Instead of scoffing and running your mouth, go do some research.
That landline thing killed me though
Right.
when I found out that.
And they got the video of it.
Yup.
Him picking up the phone and he's talking, and you people still believe this garbage, man.
We lose reception in the subway, but he can go to the moon.
Right.
Right, on the landline.
On high-tech ass phones that can actually communicate with satellites and stuff, but he can pick up a landline and talk to Buzz Lightyear.
Right.
Right. To infinity and beyond. Right, you know? No, man.
Start Command. This is Start
Star Command, this is President Nixon.
The eagle has landed.
Yeah, right.
Fuck out of here,
Hear you
man.
loud and clear.
Hey, the eagle has landed. Can I get that eagle on the phone?
Right.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Now they get popped off where they getting exposed about green screens and them being underwater and being
All that,
filmed.
man.
All that.
And then now they come with this new thing called fact checkers, which is all a lie.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, what I've come to understand, if you see something that say fact checkers have said that this is false information, it's usually true. Right? It's the complete opposite. All right? And I can't remember exactly what it was, but someone put up the evidence that fact checkers said something was true, and then they showed the evidence. That something was false, and then they showed the evidence beside it that it was true. So so there goes your fact checkers.
Speak Shalom, bro. Good to see you.
Shalom, man. Yeah, about your ship, brother. Love you right back, brother. Shalom. Bring out what you got, brother.
Okay.
This is I don't know if y'all brothers brought this up, but this is Isaiah 34 and verse 16.
16.
So nice, bring it out twice.
It's okay. Bring it out, brothers.
God kind of says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate."
Because you got to hit Jake in the head with something twice, man.
Yes.
So, you know, you got to hit him in their brain, get it in
You
their
mean-
brain housing group. You know, you got to hit it, finish it, brother.
That's right. It says, "For my mouth they have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them."
Yep, so the spirit of truth. Literally what it's talking about, man. The spirit of truth, man. All right? And the truth thing. You know what's hate? What's hate is lying about somebody's heritage and calling them a color.
Man.
Lying about the fact that the Lord looked like them.
Right.
That's what hate is. All right? Hate is when you label somebody a color. When you got half the this big portion of the population run around calling themselves black when their skin is actually brown.
Right.
Physically and visibly brown.
Right.
All right? But you still call yourself black. And still haven't taken the time to look up what the word means when we tell you all the time, man. All right? There's nothing pretty about it. There's nothing good about it. Everything connected to the word is evil and bad and dirty. They even showed you that in the Malcolm X movie.
Right.
And you still haven't figured it out. Because you know what? Because a book is kryptonite to Jace, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to hide
And then when you do go read a book, you go read some garbage book
Yep.
that's not connected to you and who you are.
I seen a old ad. I forgot what the movie was called, but they had the Bible, a big ass Bible, and they had the pages cut out with the drugs in it. Because
Oh.
Jake ass ain't gonna go in there to look for the shit.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you
Damn.
know that's that saying. If you wanna have something from Jake, had a perfect example, man. One of my favorite movies, man. The what was the movie with young ass Selma Hayek and Finest with no, not that one. The one that came, I think it was before that one. Desperado.
Ooh, yeah.
Desperado,
Oh.
last movie, man. All right, but you know she was making all this money from the drug dealers, and she was hiding the money in the books.
Right. Right.
All right, all she had, untold thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, all tucked away in the books. Because why? Because she lived in a town. She had like a library, but people weren't coming in there and buying them books. So all the books up high, she would get on the ladder and hide the money in the books and put them back up on the shelf. So somebody come in, taking a register, all the money in the books. She'd give them what's in the register. Here you go.
Right.
Right. Because Jake, you can hide your money in plain sight. Jake ain't opening up no book.
Oh, that's a book.
It's like a book to Jake is like a damn a cross to a vampire.
I was thinking garlic.
Yeah, some dude trying to rob you something, just pull out a book.
He was in Bulldog.
Don't
See,
lie.
I was making a joke. I didn't even know. Man.
Oh yeah, Uncle Ruckus.
It's like an exorcism. And
Read,
niggas bugged out the fuck. He had
That
put
shit
the
was-
book. He say, read, nigga. Nigga say, "Ah."
He came in there with the Bible and some job applications. He was like, no.
Oh,
Damn.
Oh man.
Well, even evil ass, coon ass Uncle Ruckus is right sometimes.
Yeah. What is it? Broken clock is right twice out today.
That's right, brother. A broken clock is right twice a day. They on point.
Yeah.
They got that spit up out of too.
I got a precept.
Bring it out, brother.
Isaiah 46:10. Perfect. Declaring the end from the beginning. Verse 49. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me.
Right. So the Heavenly Father, he's talking his shit, right? Go ahead. I love this chapter.
Verse 10. Declaring the end from the beginning.
That's how we know we're his children. Because we got that same spirit.
That's right.
Because Jake is sarcastic like that, especially when they telling the truth.
Right.
And they know they got you.
And they know they
Right,
got you.
right.
Right.
Declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient things Salakia, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done.
Right. There's scriptures, there's prophecies in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, the beginning 7 verses that's still going on now. That still hasn't even been fulfilled.
Yeah.
You know, there's scriptures in Exodus that haven't even been fulfilled yet. All right? But the Lord already declared these things. Go ahead.
It says, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
Right, and the Lord's counsel is standing. It's showing itself to be true. The word is manifesting itself to be true. Everything that the scriptures, everything written in the scriptures has happened and is happening and will happen. You know? So you can't give that glory to an idol. You can't give that glory to the Quran. You can't give that glory to the Keeper Negash, the Book of the Dead.
Yeah, and in
Can't
High Park, there's a heavy Kemet spirit.
Yeah, right
Because
there.
my man was pulling off, you can see them making faces.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's where that was really aimed at them too, because I already knew they was on that bullshit. Because he was her black king and she was her black queen. We'd have
Right.
told you what queen mean and we'd have told you what black mean.
Right.
Neither one of them is good, man.
Right.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
You know, stop calling your woman a damn black queen. That's a very negative. Basically, you calling her a black prostitute, a black whore.
Right. Exactly.
Look the word up and learn for yourself. All right. The word queen, Q-U-E-E-N, comes from the word Q-U-E-A-N.
Right.
All right. And that's what it comes from originally. And the meaning of it is not a very positive meaning at all. All right. It's not a very positive meaning. It's a negative. It's a very negative thing, man.
That's right.
All right. So the truth is the truth, man. All right. Bring it out, brother.
Con, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 48 and verse 3. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them. I did them suddenly, and they came to pass.
Hey, and that's beautiful. You know, hey man, we read the book of Jeremiah 49 and 50. That's going into the destruction of America, which still hasn't happened yet. But that was written over thousands of years ago.
And
man.
you know what? A part of that destruction, we're gonna go ahead and read this. Somebody grab chapter 9 of Jeremiah, and start at verse 10. All right, because the first part of that, hey, Shalom, Akim. The first part of that is that Esau has to be exposed. So ask yourself, you know, and that's another thing. The Christians teach that Esau is done away with, that there's no more Edomites. But that's not true. All right, I got the water, brother. Because the Bible and history clearly tells you, in the scriptures, that when the Lord returns, He returns to a world that's ruled by Edom. So why is it they keep teaching that Edom is done away with? Right? And this guy's screaming about, well, you know, the whole reparations complaint guy. All right? And he's trying to bring out scriptures, and then he's saying it, and they keep calling us Edomites, and you know, and the Edomites aren't here anymore. Well, then we got a problem. Somebody get Isaiah 63.
Got it right
Bob
here.
Kushah. And somebody get Ezekiel 35, 36. Those two scriptures, Bob Kushah. Matter of fact, read Ezekiel first.
Ezekiel 35.
36 and 5, I believe.
Okay, this
When
is
they have appointed my land, that one.
Yep. Okay, and this is Ezekiel 35. It's like a 36 and verse 5.
Somebody can get it in Joel too. How they divided the land, they appointed the land themselves. Go ahead, brother Salaki.
Ezekiel 36 verse 5. It says, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy I have spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea.
Against all Idumea, what happened?
It says, which have appointed my land into their possession.
So we have to look. You know, the Bible said that. So what people appointed his land into their possession? It's really not rocket science, man.
At all.
All right, you laugh and scoff, but that's okay. You don't want to look like the dummy. But go ahead.
That's right. It says, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart and despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey.
And what was it that was casted out for a prey was the people of the Lord. But meanwhile, Idumea is sitting in the land of the Lord according to the Bible.
Hello.
So who did that?
Right.
You have to. Who appointed the land to themselves?
It says a bastard
All
shall
right.
dwell in Ashdod.
Matter of fact, get that, brother. Now that you said it, bash him over the head with it. Off the top rope. Give him the people's elbow.
That's right.
Macho Man style.
This is the
Oh,
book
yeah.
Right. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 9, verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Right. So Ashdod is close to Tel Aviv, man.
Right.
And it says a bastard, a fraudulent, a fake, a phony is going to be dwelling over there.
That's right, because that's the one of the meanings of the word bastard that they removed from all and I believe they removed it from modern dictionaries because it is scripture. All right, I believe that's the why else would they remove it? Because if you really if following this Hebrew thing or Hebrew Israelism as wicked as vocab like to say, you notice that all the scriptures that prove color, that talk about color and things like that, in all the newer versions of the Bible, those scriptures are usually been the scriptures about color have all been omitted or they've been changed.
Yep.
All right, especially if you use the JPS. If you read a JPS publication, the Jewish publication, you get to Isaiah 14:2. The whole thing, Judah is blackened to the ground. The black is gone.
Completely.
All right, it's completely gone. All right,
I got that, Joel.
go ahead, brother.
This Joel chapter 3 verse 1. For behold, in those days and that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem,
So he's gonna take our captivity away. Go ahead.
I will also gather all nations
Ellen was flossing, wasn't she?
and
ahead,
will
brother.
and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
That's what you call the made up of term Middle East. The Middle East sits in Asia. It's always been Asia. That's the name that they made up in the 1800s because it was midway between Britain and India. The East India Trading Company, the British East India Trading Company. So they called it it was midway between their travels to India. That's how it got that name. All right, but that whole Saudi Arabia, Israel, Turkey, that's all a part of Asia. Always has been, still is today. So there's no such thing as the Middle East. That's a made-up term, and they try to connect that like there's a race of people connected to a landmass. And when everybody that's living in that landmass are transplants, because the original inhabitants of that area are not there for the most part, except for a lot of those Ishmaelites. You know, Ishmael's still there, all right? But the majority of those people that are living there, they're not from there. Hell, Egypt is full of Ishmaelites. You don't even have Egyptians in Egypt anymore. You got Ishmael calling himself an Egyptian, taking you on a tour. Trying to take you on a carpet ride and a tour at the same time. All right? They're not the Egyptians.
Arabian Nights.
All right? That's a different race of people, man. But go ahead, brother.
Says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel,
Right?
whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
So we got scattered among all people and then they parted the Holy Land. That's written before it happened, man. All right? And that's another one of those scriptures you will never hear in church. They're never going to bring that out. And then relate it to now. That's a prophecy. Shalom, brother.
Yeah, bon.
All right? You will never hear that scripture in a church, man. Shalom, buddy, man.
And it cuts those New Testament Israelites.
Yeah.
You know, because it says we were scattered in all the land. So that proves that when you come to the New Testament, those people whom Paul were going to, Paul's missionary, he was going to those scattered lands where Israelites had been scattered.
Exactly.
Man. You know, but Christians, they don't connect the dots. They refuse to humble down, admit they got it wrong, and they don't want to connect the dots.
Well, you know, that kind of pride is going to get you destroyed, man.
That's it.
All right? Because I'm humble enough to know that when I don't know about something. All right? If I don't know about it, I don't know about it. All right? If you're efficient in it, you know, I'm gonna listen to you or watch your guy. You know, that's like trying to teach somebody kung fu. I know absolutely nothing about kung fu. Nothing. All right? Just because you learn one block. I know Wing Chun now. No, man. You know? No, I don't know. You know, I'm not a wrestler. I do know something about grappling, but I'm not a wrestler. All right? So you can't go and teach something that you don't know about it and then be proud about it. And that's the problem with Christians, man. They're not studied. All right, they're really not studied at all, man. Because when you start going back, if you can actually have a discourse with them without having an argument, all right, and that's what happens when people, when they're proven wrong, then they get mad and then it turns into an argument.
Right.
We don't have to argue. We can have a discourse without, you know, it can be that it don't have to be me calling you a stupid son of a bitch and you calling me a nigga. Well, nigga, it don't need to be that. It don't need to be any of that, man. We should be able to have a discourse back and forth. The problem is they're not on the level, man.
Exactly.
They think they're on the level and they're not, man. And we've done this with so-called highly educated people, you know, in the cloth.
Oh man.
From different missionary schools and all that sort of thing, man. I actually miss the days when pastors and priests and rabbis used to walk up and confront us. Those were the good old days, man. But now they see us and they just go the other way.
Yep.
Why? Because we know this book better than they do. All right, and then they're aware and they know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't, and then you find out that they're teaching for filthy lucre's sake.
Exactly.
That's what they're
Yep,
teaching
yep,
for,
yep.
man. They're not teaching the truth about this book. All right? And a lot of people don't take it serious because they don't understand this book, man. They don't understand that the history of the whole world was written in the Bible before it even happened.
Mm-hmm.
They can't identify the nations who they are today. And the one that they try to identify, they're nowhere near the Lord's people. All right?
Mm-hmm.
If you got to bring it out, brother. Any brother who holding something, let it go, man.
God. This 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 27. But the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise.
Yeah, and we look foolish standing here. He chose the foolish things to confound the wise.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
And the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
There it is, man. The weak things in the world to confound the mighty, man. So that's why you will see they'll like when the news truck, the media won't stop and actually go have a discourse with us.
No.
But yet they'll put up something on the news or something on the internet, giving you their opinion and what they think and the lies that they say about us, but they won't actually go back and forth with us on camera. Why do you think that is?
Millions of people watching.
Right? First of all, because they don't want people to know what we have to share.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And then they want to control the narrative. They want you to see us through the lens that they're creating. They don't want you to see us for who we really are and what we're talking about and how we can prove it, everything we're saying. All right? They don't want you to see that part. All right? What they will show you is an argument on the street when someone gets irate. They'll show you that. They'll show you the discourse of an argument going back and forth. All right? And then say, oh, well, see, this is what, and then they try to show you that. But as far as us actually going into scripture, going into history, going into the evidences, they don't want to deal with us on that level at all. All right? They don't want that.
I got a precept.
Bring it out, brother.
This is 1 Corinthians 4:9. For I think that the Most High has set us forth the apostles last, as it were, appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels and to men.
And that's a prophecy that the men of the Lord will become a spectacle to the world. There's no bigger spectacle than us.
That's right.
Why? Because we're odd and we're telling the truth, and it makes people uncomfortable.
That's right.
And the truth is supposed to make people uncomfortable. Why? Because we're living in a society that's built on everything, all of its lies. Everything you learn in school with history is a lie.
That's right.
It's all lies, man. And not enough people are bold enough and have enough courage to say it.
Right. Right.
All right, they just go with it. Teachers go with it. So watch, just so they can get a paycheck.
Right.
My son stayed in
Right.
trouble at school, man. And I was always trying to tell him to calm down, but his spirit just, man, he'd be sitting in the classroom, the teacher start, and he'd be like,
Right.
right? He stayed in trouble at school. But you know what? The Wadi Halbashim Rashadi, he had that spirit on him, man. All right, I'm actually thank the Lord that he had that kind of spirit on him, man. He couldn't hold his tongue. He had one time he told me the teacher pulled him out in the hallway and said and begged him and said, "You're right." You're right, but I can't teach that. I have a curriculum that I have to teach. And then he was cool after that. But she pulled him out in the hallway and told him, "You're right." Okay? Especially these people trying to deny the Northern Kingdom. Cristobal Colon, who you know as Christopher Columbus, all right? His real name is Cristobal Colon. He came to America with 5 Hebrew interpreters. I just did like bruh man from the 5th floor. Sandwich.
Right. For you and your mom.
Right. But he came up with 5 Hebrew interpreters. All right. So why did Christopher Columbus, all right, come up with 5 Hebrew interpreters looking for India? Right. Damn retards. All right, we can't say that word no more, right? But we gonna say it anyway.
My shit rated R.
Y'all
Right.
y'all straight tards.
Right.
All right.
Again, slow.
He came up with 5 Hebrew interpreters, man, because he knew he was going to encounter a Hebrew people. All right. He used the book of Isaiah and he used the book of 2nd Ezra. I think it was Isaiah 54. If I'm not, it was either Isaiah 54 and 56. There's something in there that he read, and then he used 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. All right. And that was his reason for wanting to come to the Americas. All right. He knew about the trip that Solomon's Navy took. You would take every 3 years. And it would take them a year and a half to go and a year and a half to come back. That was history that was available to him. All right. He had that. And that's why the Catholic Church, they backed him and financed his. As a matter of fact, his trip was financed with the wealth from the Moors and the Morenos and the crypto Jews that lost all their wealth at the fall of Portugal and Spain. When Portugal and Spain fell, the new inhabitants, all right, who were very lighter in complexion, kind of reddish, all right, on the pale side, they gathered up all the wealth, all right, because the Borgia family came into power in the late 1300s. All right, the Borgia family started coming into power. All right, so by the time the 1400s rolled around, you know, midway through the 1400s, Cesare Borgia was doing his thing, man, till he died. You know, young, but he did a lot of damage before he died. And the number one damage is that his image was used.
There it is.
All right, his image was used to be put up as the new who they call JC. Which is a made-up name in the first place. Mm-hmm. How many of you people know that the word Jesus goes back to 2 words, and it means earth pig? How many of you know that? But you're gonna praise him and clap hands and sing and dance to that name tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Even with being given that information and scoffing it instead of looking it up for yourself. Earth pig. All right, that's literally what it translates to. Earth pig. It's a made-up name. The letter J didn't even exist at the time when he was walking around in the flesh. All right? And then all of a sudden, I find it very interesting too, that especially among Edomites, I could go inside the Target and buy a book, all right? And then the book will give a description of the people in the book. And if it said that the people were black, then, or of melanated complexions, you get an idea. The artist can actually draw a depiction of what they read and be point on. And that's fine and dandy, except for when it comes to the Bible. Right. Because the Bible tells you over and over again what the angels look like, what God looks like, what the Lord looked like, what the Lord's people look like. But yet, for some strange reason, black in the Bible don't actually mean so-called black. It means something else.
Morning.
All right? All of a sudden.
Right.
All right? Yeah, you know, and especially that Lamentations 4 and 8. That's one of my favorites. Because it bangs so hard, man. Right. That's that uppercut hook. And when he going down, fall right into the head kick. Look. Right, you know, the uppercut pops the head up, the hook sent him to the side, and he fall right into the head kick. You done.
You got it?
You know, you do straight to the stretcher. You going from the ring to the stretcher to the hospital. All right?
He got that.
Bring it out, brother.
That banger.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 8.
Now, you know, this is another one of those scriptures that they will avoid in the church. They won't bring that one out, but bring it out, brother.
Their visage is blacker than a coal.
Their visage. So when you looked at the people of the Lord, they were very dark. But all of a sudden, it's a problem today if you say that. All right? And they weren't Africans. That's a different dark race. So that was a lie that they told. So they grouped everybody dark together and removed the Israelites from that. All right? That's that pseudoscience. And you people still falling for it to this day, man. Read it again, brother.
Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets.
What? They are not known in the streets. Why? Because you call black. You call colored.
Mm-hmm.
And like my man said on American Gods, and those are the good names.
Right.
You know, he got fired for that. You know that?
Yeah.
He said, oh, y'all don't, he said, y'all black. Y'all didn't know y'all was black. He said, so when these Dutch motherfuckers decided to call y'all black, it still went over Jake's head, man. So many of our peoples watched that and it still went over their heads. So what did he tell you? He told you that before the Dutch slave traders got their hands on you, you weren't called black. So what were you called?
Mm.
All right? And like I keep telling you, idiots, all right? There's your different shades of brown. There was no such thing as a black person. His shirt is black. Ain't nobody's skin color that color.
That's right.
All I see is brown people. Dark chocolate brown to light brown.
Cake
To
on
almost
turn.
tan, or what they used to call tawny.
Mhm.
Because before you were called black, you were called swarthy. And they removed that word away. Why? Because there are letters that were written by certain individuals in American history that talked about the swarthiness of the Europeans. So why would I'm gonna name one, Brent Franklin. Why would Ben Franklin be writing letters about swarthy and tawny Europeans, swarthy and tawny Americans? All right, why would he be doing that? And why was this letter never shared in school? What was it a part of your curriculum? No. Was it? Can I get a show of hands who got taught about that letter that Ben Franklin wrote in 1751 about how the Swedes, the Germans, the Italians were all swarthy?
Oops,
Anybody? Any hands? You saw it? You got taught that in school? Oh, I was gonna say, what school you go to? All right.
I got it.
Go ahead, brother.
So this is written from Benjamin Franklin.
Coats of arms.
All right, the guy that's on the $100 bill. All right, it's called Observations Concerning the Increase of Mankind, Peopling of Countries.
So what he's really telling you, the increase of mankind was not really you swarthy folk weren't meant to be a part of that.
Right.
All right, just so you get it. But go ahead and read, brother.
All right, so when you go to the 24th paragraph, he says, which leads me to add one remark, that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionably very small.
Right?
That, yeah, fucking haircut. Slack you. That just took you. It says, all Africa is black or tawny.
But he said all Africa is black or tawny. Go ahead. And that's around the time they started using that word black.
Right.
Right around that, hadn't been let long. Because he's usually using, the word swarthy was used prior to that. But go ahead, read.
It says Asia is chiefly tawny.
Right?
America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so tawny.
So Americans were tawny. They weren't red. All right?
And in Europe,
Except for maybe ruddy, which actually means reddish brown. Because a lot of you brothers are brown with those red hues in your skin. And they took that word ruddy and newspeak, gave it a new definition, and tried to connect it to people with rosy, pale cheeks. Try to create that confusion, because the Bible tells you that Judah was blackened to the ground, and then they turn around and try to say David was ruddy. You see the confusion that they caused? But go ahead, brother.
it says, and in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion.
So he just mentioned the people in Europe and in Asia.
At that time.
All right, at that time.
Right?
And then he said they were swarthy. So like I always tell you, it hurts your feelings when you find out you were not the Vikings.
Right.
You were not the Brits. Right. You were not the Scots. You were not the Irish.
Man.
All right, that's all lies. Your own forefather just told you what they look like.
Right.
But that's been omitted from your history. Laugh now, cry later. That's been omitted from your history. So when you hear it, it hurts your feelings. Little Edomites was over there turning around, But go ahead.
It says, and while we are, as I may call it, scouring our planet by clearing America of woods, and so making...
So a clearing America of woods, that whole plan was to destroy the forest in America. All right, because America was a paradise, man. It was an Eden within itself.
Yeah.
All right, fruit grew naturally everywhere. It was because there's still trees that bear fruit in Chicago right now that you could walk up and eat off. There's still a few mulberry and berry trees left. Those blueberries and those mulberry trees.
And that proves he's the wicked. That proves Esau is the wicked, because when you go in, I believe it's in Isaiah, he says, "Since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against me."
Right, and they call themselves Christians, and the Bible clearly tells you that you're not supposed to chop down a tree that bears food.
Exactly.
Because why? Because a poor can eat from it.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
But they rather chop down a tree and then sell the food to the poor versus just allowing them. Because every society and every time, and no matter what the time period, there was always homeless and poor.
That's right.
And if you have fruit on the tree, you don't have to worry about the poor coming on your property and all that. They can eat off the tree and keep it moving.
Yep.
All right.
Now they lock stuff up.
And he's selling.
Now they
water
want to put
now.
a fence up on a tree that grew in the wild,
Yeah. Yeah.
collected it and then sell it. So these people truly are wicked, man. But go ahead, read.
It says, "As are the Germans also, the Saxons only accepted who with the English make a principal body of white people on the face of the earth."
Right?
It
Which
says-
was a lie.
That's a lie.
Because he called them the Anglo-Saxons, the angelic sons of Isaac,
That's
were
right.
not pale.
That's right.
The Bible doesn't agree with that. And I'm gonna go with what the Bible says. But go ahead.
It says, Slacking. Who with the ink? Slacking. "I could wish their numbers were increased, and while we are, as I may call it, slacking. No. And while we are, as I may call it, scouring our planet by clearing the woods, and so making this side of our globe reflect a brighter light to the eyes of inhabitants in Mars or Venus, why should we, in sight of superior beings, darken its people? Why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America?"
Right, and so he's pushing that lie. All right? Because they are very well aware that the so-called Negroes that came over here on slave ships were not Africans. All right? And a lot of them came from Europe first. So you got to explain why they were in Europe and what they were doing there. They don't want to talk about that.
Right.
All right? The people in Portugal and Spain were among some of the first people that were ever traded or sold into slavery.
Exactly.
All right?
Exactly. That was the last straw.
The poor, that was the last stronghold in Europe during the Dark Ages, when so-called dark people were ruling. That's why it's called the Dark Ages, dummies.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're gonna know all the history, word for word, tit for tat, up until the fall of Rome. Forget everything that happened in the Dark Ages, and then all of a sudden you get to the the Renaissance, and now you know everything again.
Right.
No, because the Dark Ages was dark to you because you weren't the ruling class people.
That's right.
You were the wild man, the
All
beast
right,
man.
you were those wildlings.
Wildlings.
You remember on the Game of Thrones, the wildlings, the cannibals, the people that lived outside society. That was you. There's a German tapestry from the 1500s of black men and women inside of a castle with bows and arrows, fighting off wild red men, so-called white men, attacking them from the forest. That's a German tapestry. Could somebody please explain that to me? Why are black people living in a castle and white people living in the forest, and I never learned about it in school?
Why?
And the evidence of the event is actually recorded history. But then we're called racist and hate and deliverers of hate for bringing it out. No, you're the one that's racist and hateful because you hid the history.
Right.
Yep.
All right, don't get mad because we found it.
Right.
You're gonna hide something, lie about it and hide it, and then we find it. We're racist.
Right. That's crazy.
You hid who we were.
That's crazy.
All right.
you find out my lies?
I
Right.
got away with
Would
it
if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Right. Exactly. Those damn Israelites.
And every time they
Who taught these niggas to read?
whenever they take the fucking mask off, it's always an Edomite.
It's always
Always.
Edomite, man.
Never failed.
And it usually was a professor.
It was always
Right,
the guy in the
right.
beginning,
All
the
right.
nice dude.
It's
and
usually
shit.
the
Yeah.
same guy that was supposedly helping him. Right. It's usually a damn professor, man.
Yeah.
Hey, it said they are physicians of no value. All right, they're physicians. You got all these doctorate degrees, and the word doctor literally means to lie, to doctor something up. That's why the Bible said you are physicians of no value.
Hey, the word.
That's why you do things in this country to keep people sick, and then you try to use pseudoscience and poisonous petroleum-based drugs to keep them sick.
Right.
All right.
Yep.
If you cared about the people, you wouldn't put all these chemicals in the food, in the water, in the air. All right. You wouldn't sell those type of poisons. You wouldn't manufacture cigarettes. You wouldn't manufacture different types of drugs that get people addicted and make them sick. You wouldn't do that if you cared about the people. You don't care about the people, man. Stop playing. All you care about is a dollar, the bottom line, man.
Yep. And that word degree goes back to the word degrade. So you come in debt free and you emerge out degraded to a goddamn slave, a wage slave at the end of the day. But you know, like the scriptures say, so great plagues they call peace. You know, and that shit's crazy.
I got a quick precept. This John 10:10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly.
There you go, man.
Yep.
Right? The thief come nothing but to steal and to kill, man. And take away life.
Yep.
The Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. You'd have taught women in Western society to not have babies. To your own detriment to a certain race of people.
Right.
Because you got your women chasing the bag
Right.
and not having children, you know? Or they waiting until they way past their when their ovaries are all messed up and used.
God knows.
Right, when they've been used by more men than their grandmother had birthdays.
Damn.
Right, and now when they damn near 40 years old trying to get married in a white dress and have a child for the first time.
Shit.
All right, that's a society that the wicked has created. It says surely you're turning of things upside down. My grandfather married my grandmother at 14.
Man.
All right, he was 19, she was 14, and they stayed together their whole life. He lived to be 99 years old, man.
Damn.
Wow.
And his wife died. He never left his wife. All right, and they had a lot of children. All right, and that's the way it's supposed to be. The Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. The earth is big enough to house everybody, all the billions of people that are here, and then some, if you actually use the land the way you're supposed to.
That's right.
But you got the greedy that want to hoard everything to themselves. All right?
Yeah, the whole world can fit in Texas.
Yep.
Every human being,
I saw a mathematician do it.
Can fit in
I
Texas,
saw the mathematician. He used Texas. He also used Australia.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he used math. You know, math is the only language that doesn't lie.
That's right.
And so he broke it down. And matter of fact, he put the whole world's population into all damn near 8 billion people into Australia. And not only did he put them all there, but he divided up the land according to the land mass, to where everybody has so many acres of land, to where you had enough land to grow your own vegetables and to have some farm animals.
Exactly.
So imagine
Wow.
if every family had some goats, some sheep, some cows, some chickens,
Self-sustaining.
all right, and some garden where they could grow. You be self-sufficient. They don't want you to be self-sufficient. They want you to go to a place like that and buy stuff on a shelf that's full of chemicals that are gonna make you sick and fat, give you diabetes and high blood pressure.
Diabetes.
All right, and this is supposed to be the greatest country in the world, and this is the country with the biggest, the chubbiest people that are all sick.
No, for real.
Why is that? All right, people. I got man. Look, I got people clients that go overseas and they fine. They come here and they get sick.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead, bring it out, brother.
This is Ecclesiastes 5:9. It says, moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field.
Exactly, brother. The king himself is served by the field. I mean, this man would do wicked to himself. To whom shall he do good?
I got it right here.
All right. What type of person poisons the air and the water and the food that they have to eat and drink? Who does that?
The devil.
Who does that?
The devil.
All right.
The devil.
To the point where if he hates you so much, I'm gonna make this designer drug to eliminate these people, but you eliminate your own people at the same time.
Kamikaze.
They got that Longshanks mentality.
Yep.
Longshanks was the guy who who sent his soldiers down to the battle. As soon as his soldiers got down to the battle and they crossing swords with the enemy, he called up his archers. All right, but his captain is like, my lord, our men are there too, you know. And right, Long Shakes is like, well, we'll hit some of theirs too.
Wow.
So my men down there fighting, and I'm gonna call up so I'm gonna hit all my men in the back, in the head, in the back with arrows while they defending my kingdom, our kingdom. And so you're gonna wipe out half your force just to kill the enemies.
Right.
A men that's been loyal and literally putting their lives on the line, man. And that's who you serve.
Mm-hmm.
So any person that looks anything like these people, a matter of fact, even if you don't, you a fool to join this man's military.
Oh yeah.
All right?
That's right.
You are a fool to join this man's military and go fight so you can make the rich richer and make the poor suffer even more. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Bring out whatever you got, brother.
This is Sirach 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Right? And that's crazy. And like the elder was saying, this man, he's polluted and corrupted the very earth he has to live on. So how can this man be trusted? How can you trust anything he proposes to you? How can you trust anything? You can't trust
Trust
nothing,
the
man.
science.
Right. You can't trust his science. You can't trust his education. You can't trust his health care. Because he'll destroy it. He's fucking his own people up. He's fucking himself up.
The scriptures say, "Trust not in your enemy."
That's right.
You know, you
Well,
can't.
that's just it. Our people don't know who their enemy is.
Right.
That is true.
They think their enemy is folks and stones and vice lords and Spanish cobras and shit.
Right.
You know, that's who they think their enemy is. No, your enemy is Esau, Edom, man,
Mhm.
and the other nations. All right,
Yep.
who made a tumult. All right, here come Eve. You want to all the places this big ass park. Want to sit down and choke us with smoke and then, you know, loud as hell in a public place. That's the nigga woman for you, man.
All right, appreciate.
Go ahead, brother.
This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 18.
Man, you got 2 miles of park behind us, man.
That's crazy.
Go ahead, brother. Salaki.
Revelation chapter 11 and verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
That's right. He gonna destroy them, those who destroy the earth, man. You got people wearing the mask, man,
In this car.
in the broad
In the
daylight.
car.
Right, or by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you walking down the street, ain't nobody around you 50 feet in any direction, man. All right? You know?
Out of there.
This is messed up, man.
That's right.
Why? Because she's living in fear. Why? Because she believed the lies. All right? Go ahead, brother.
This the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 3.
Go ahead, brother.
An unwise king destroyeth his people,
Ooh.
but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited.
There it is, man. Through the prudence of them that are in authority, man. And so when the righteous man get in authority, when that reward is given, spoil will be a part of it. All right. It said, matter of fact, he said that he gonna give that reward to the great and small, those who believe on the name, man.
That's right, brother.
All right. So we looking forward to that part. All right. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, man, whether you want to hear it or not. He said that a little one shall become 1,000. Ain't no man right here gonna become 1,000 with one woman.
Right.
All right. One woman can't have that many children, man. Okay. All right. That's, when the truth in this book come out, man, a lot of these people, you're gonna be shook up. You have no idea, man. Hey, these are the last few days of normalcy.
Yeah.
Enjoy them.
Yeah. It's a
You
lot
got
of shit
you
coming down
people.
the
It's a
pipe.
lot of stuff coming down the pipe, man. You people are about to get shook up, man.
Right.
Your world is about to get turned upside down. You have no idea.
And we were saying that, you know, and then people were looking at us crazy. And then what happened? The pandemic.
Yep.
The whole world got shut down. Hey, our views increased.
Oh yeah.
All right, our views increased double, man. Because what? The things that these men were saying, oh shit, now the whole world is on lockdown. And we telling you again, they getting ready to do it again. And
And
then when you
worse.
emerge from this lockdown, life is going to be very different. It's going to be very, very digital.
And it's gonna be
War-
very chaotic before it goes digital.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're not gonna be safe out here,
Yes.
and you're gonna find out that there's no such thing as an independent woman, and that you're not safe. All right,
Very fast.
you're gonna find out that you need men. When all these hooligans are running around here in packs, kicking in doors,
Right.
running in stores.
Right.
All right, because of the lack of food. The Bible warns you of a complete chaotic breakdown of society, and you're on the verge of it, man. It's actually about to happen.
Man.
And if the Lord's not with you, hey, because ain't no amount of bullets and guns and prepper, you know,
Right.
you can have all your preparations, man. If the Lord is not with you, man, you dead already, man. You the walking dead.
Right.
All right, you already dead, man. You just don't know it yet.
God
And when there's food, and when there's no food out here, you people gonna be eating each other.
Yeah.
All right, you lose a fight in the street, you're gonna become a meal.
Yeah.
All right.
God knows.
They show you that. Why you think they make these movies like that? For the last 7 years, they've been making. There's been a theme of post-apocalyptic scenarios.
Sure, it's been post-apocalyptic movies since the 80s, man.
That con.
All right, they've been showing you that zombie mess since the 80s, man.
Mad Max and shit.
And then which is
Terminator.
gonna be a mindset, all right? Because people really gonna be crazy, zombified out here. And guess what? People really gonna be eating people.
Yeah.
It's prophesied in the Bible, man, for the lack of meat and food. What do you think happens when no food is being brought to these grocery stores?
Ooh.
You know, there's only so many cats and dogs, right? And guess what? You're gonna have packs of dogs eating people. Because you're gonna have a lot of people that ain't gonna be able to feed their dogs no more, and they're gonna let their dogs out, and them dogs gonna form packs.
And
All right? And you're gonna step outside,
Woo.
and they just gonna roll up on you.
Especially women in their cycle.
Oh yeah,
It's
and yeah.
smelling that blood.
Yeah, they gonna smell it. Yeah.
Damn.
Not only that, the animals shall change their place, man.
Yeah.
Because they doing a media blackout on what's going on in France, man.
Oh,
Yup.
France is
Yup.
fucked
All
up.
right,
They
the
open
zoos
zoos
got to
up.
open up, man. I saw footage
Lions.
of lions and
Yup.
wolves
Yup.
running through the streets, man.
Yeah, I saw that
Rhino.
too.
All right, lions and
Rhinos.
wolves running through the streets.
Yeah.
Okay,
France is fucked up right
and they doing a media blackout on it because they don't want the people to know what's really going on, man. Then there was a video that was circulating. You had about 50 or 60 police officers that lined up and all threw their badges and their handcuffs on the ground. All right, and I had shared that with a few people, and a lady sent it back to me and said it's gone.
Damn.
All right, she said, and then I looked at it and then I said, oh, so I guess 50 men dressed up like police officers just so they could shoot a video with them throwing their badges and handcuffs on the ground. And she just laughed. All right? Yeah, so let's all go rent costumes and dress up like we're cops.
I have a question.
What's your question, brother?
I see this poster right, or the other side of the poster, and this is kind of, I don't think it's new knowledge, but my question is, what to those who say what happened to the slave ships? You heard that question?
What happened to the slave ships? What do you
Yeah.
mean by that?
You know, cause for those people who claim that they didn't exist.
Well, so then why don't they ask, what happened to the British Royal Navy ships from the same time period?
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They're either sunk, destroyed, or they're sitting in some yard somewhere. Yeah,
Because they modernized it.
yeah. So how many? Right. So how many ships are around? So that's an easy question, man. Like all the what do you call them? The merchant ships from the same time period.
Okay.
Where are they at? It's,
You said
yeah.
also deal was over shit. Look, cause didn't they find a slave ship?
They found lots of them, man.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. They, like you said, we live in a society where the truth is always buried, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when you reveal some truth, people are looking at you sideways. That's why the scripture said we be made a spectacle.
Yeah.
All right, and we're a spectacle right now. Everybody's looking at us like we're crazy.
Yeah.
All right, but that's what the Bible said that the prophets will be looked at as. They will be made a spectacle and called no people, and that he would bring to naught that which is great with that which is not. We're not great right now, but we will be.
That's right.
All right, the Lord said, but we are rich.
That's right.
All right, and rich with what? He said we're poor, but we're rich. We're rich with knowledge and understanding. We know this Bible. We know our history. We know who we are,
Right,
and we know what's happening in the world and what's about to happen.
That's right.
And we know that somebody get and the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. It's an easy question to ask, especially these proud Americans. Who's first in America? Let's be honest. Say it. Speak your mind. Who's first in America?
Well, it all depends on what you think America is.
Now, and who's first here in this place where we're at right now?
Okay.
Regardless of what you think it is.
Okay.
Who's first? That's the question. Please answer it.
Those who the so-called Indian. But who are they?
The so-called who?
What?
Indians.
They're first.
The Native Americans.
So they're ruling. They're the ruling people at the top.
Who face on the money?
Who's the
God
ruling
knows.
class people?
Okay.
Who's at the top? Who's
That's more of
first?
a specific question.
Okay.
You didn't say that. You just said. See?
Who's first?
It's simple.
But go ahead,
You mean
brother.
who was here first?
No. Not who's here first. I would have said that. Who's first in line with everything? Who's first in America?
Okay. Yeah. The so-called white people.
All right. Who's last in America?
The so-called people. Black people.
Now let's take that worldwide. Who's first in the world?
Ooh.
The same thing.
The same thing.
There it is.
There it is. Now get the scripture what the Bible says. So now we know who's first in society and who's last, who's on the bottom. Let's see what God has to say about it. Read.
This is Matthew chapter 20, verse 16. So the last shall be first, and the first last.
Yeah.
For many be called, but few chosen.
So there's about to be a serious trading places, man.
God knows.
There's about to be a serious trading places. All right?
You see signs of that all.
Job 27 and 15.
You see signs of that. every-
All right? And I always tell these guys to check your wife's check her browsing history.
Oh.
All right? And they got 3 letters. All right? And those 3 letters is BBC.
And it
All
ain't
right?
British
And
broadcast.
it ain't the British news.
It ain't-
Not right.
It ain't the British
So you
broadcast.
check her browsing history, all right? But bring out Job 27 and 15. Because
Okay.
there's about to be a major trading places, and that's a part of it. It may sound carnal, but that's a part of it. And it is true. And look, and if it's happening now when we got nothing, how much more when we have everything?
Right. Yeah.
All right,
But
think
see-
about it.
but see-
It's happening now when we have nothing. How much more when we got it all?
But
go ahead, bring it out,
but
brother.
It's to those who are prepared for it, though. Everybody's not going to prepare for it.
That's fine.
You know?
You're right.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
at the same time, no matter what happens, the last, they're going to be black anyway.
But go
You
ahead,
know,
brother.
The last of us who's left are going to be, they're going to be black. And they're
Well,
gonna be the ones that
eventually, but let's clear that up too.
This is Job chapter 20.
Let them read this first.
This is Job chapter 27, verse 15. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep.
His widow should not weep, man. So their women are not gonna care about them. They already don't.
God knows.
I mean, it's all over the internet.
Oh,
You
well, that ain't it.
So-
That dude's name
you know,
Adam 22.
No, but it's a great victory. It's not that it's about an issue. It's a sign. It's a sign of the Lord letting you know. That's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
Because they're in the height of their rulership,
Yep.
and this is what's happening to them.
Yeah.
Do you get that? They're first in this society, and that's what's happening to them. That's powerful.
We
All
would
right,
have got.
I got this is from Thomas Jefferson.
Mm.
All right, he wrote something.
No.
He said, "Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just, that his justice cannot sleep forever, that considering numbers, nature, and natural means only, a revolution of the wheel of fortune, an exchange of situation is among possible events."
It's not among. It is. It's gonna happen.
It's happening.
That Manifest Destiny has a part 2.
Yeah.
It has a part 2. All right. So the same way, because I was going back and forth with a Jewish doctor, a psychiatrist. We were having a discourse on this, and she finally just upped and said it. Well, we stole it. We took it fair and square. And I said, good, Dr. Grossman. I said, I want you to keep that same energy because you're gonna lose it in the same faction. And she just got quiet after that. Come debate thy cause. I'll prove you wrong. You're gonna go home with your feelings hurt.
Well, they know they're from.
Come on.
Well, the masses
No,
of
I'm
them
actually
don't.
talking to them 3 proud ones over there. But they're not gonna debate their cause. But go ahead.
Oh no, but the hierarchy They know that they're fraud. It's the masses of the people who don't know. The
Well,
masses
I
of the
wanted to
Jews
let
who
them
don't know.
learn a hard lesson.
Oh, you're
but
talking about whoever.
There's particular individuals, right?
Oh.
Because they were making faces and all proud like.
Oh, well.
Right?
Well.
Yeah, but go ahead, brother.
It
But
says-
they don't want no smoke.
God
And he
knows.
finishes, he says, that it may become probable by supernatural interference.
Right, and so there's going to be a supernatural interference.
Right.
All right, why do you think they make all those Marvel movies? Why? Because that's all in the Bible, man.
Yeah.
All right, King David is coming back with his mighty men.
Right.
His mighty men are going to be like him. David slaying tens of thousands of men by himself. Tens of thousands. There's no greater warrior that ever lived. And the scriptures promise that his people would be like him and then some. He said they will be greater than David. He said the weakest among us.
Yep.
So one of our old feeble men, 1 foot in the grave, the Lord gonna imbue him.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be like David, man. Hey, running up the building and going in the window like it's a door.
Well,
I got
that
it.
ain't surprising.
I'm home.
Even the book say your boy Jesus. Well,
Cesare Borgia,
well,
the J word.
that's because I was gonna say the word that's commonly known.
All right, well,
But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. His name is Yahweh Shah.
Oh, right. Okay. Yahweh.
All right, but this
So-
guy's
so-
name is Cesare.
Right.
This guy here,
So
his name. This is this guy.
right.
Cesare Borgia posed for that picture.
So the point is, even in there, the books say, hey, that you should do greater works than I. Basically.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
And I was going to say, brother, this in itself is divine intervention. You got a bunch of young brown men fully scholared in the Bible.
Right.
All right, proclaiming the end of this world. That in itself is divine intervention. You got to think everything this devil is throwing. He's gave us crack, gangster music, all right, single motherhood. He gave throughout
And you
all
know
of
what
that
they gave
shit.
us?
Well, now
Right.
everybody's
And
not gonna make it.
And
so-
Christianity. So
You're right.
everybody ain't gonna make
2/3
it.
of us are gonna die. Let me get you square on something too. All right, because I'm reading your shirt. They gave us that because that's a lie. We're not black.
Well,
That's white supremacy.
All right, that white supremacy
well,
gave
this
you that.
is because we're speaking the English language.
But
so-
listen, but let me
you know what I'm
speak.
saying?
Let me. This is time for you to be a student, brother. Please, listen to me.
Okay.
English was our language. We were ruling Europe at the time the English came about.
Well, yeah.
All right, we were ruling over there. All right, now so it's not about that. It's about hiding who you are. They gave you that. They gave you that because black. There is no race of black. The
No,
Lord
no, it's
didn't
not.
create.
You're right.
He
You're
didn't
right.
create
It's
no
not.
race of black. No one's ever called it until they decided to do that, and then they labeled themselves white because you're brown. No matter what, and everybody like you is brown, from a darker brown.
Technically,
Look,
of course.
the
yeah.
man next.
I'm not against nothing what you're saying. I already know that. I've been exposed to that. What generally the general thought is, because we didn't start calling ourselves black until after the word white has been established.
So they
You know what I'm
gave it
saying?
They gave it to us. It was the Dutch slave traders that started calling us that.
Well, yeah.
Right? And then they made, and when they started calling you that, all right, they also made up the term white for themselves. They weren't called white prior to that either.
Right.
Because they tried to take the whiteness in the Bible, which was talking about purity and goodness, nothing about skin color. All right? And then the word black in the Bible is talking about evil and bad, which is literally what the word black means. When you just call yourself a black person, you calling yourself ugly, you calling yourself dirty, you calling yourself unclean, you calling yourself unwise. All black is associated with all that. So now you're the black man.
Well, I got
You understand? They created that. And then they gave that to you, and then they try to make you stand on it and make you to be proud of it, when it's actually something you should be ashamed and angry about. And then they gave themselves the false construct. White and black are social constructs created.
True.
They
That is
created
true.
those,
That is
right?
true. Yeah.
Look, so the people that came over in the slave ships were Israelites. They weren't even from Africa. They were refugees in
As in
Africa.
terms of nationality, yeah.
They
You
were
know,
refugees.
Everybody spoke on a level of nationality.
They were refugees in Africa. They weren't from there. They were from Jerusalem, and they set up all those towns along, all those different countries along the west coast of Africa were set up by Israelites. As a matter of fact, they called it Negro land. Africans were never called Negroes. They weren't called Negroes. They were old maps from the 1700s.
Well, I know the term Negro was here, right? They started.
But what I'm saying is that it was here. But what I'm saying is that there were maps in Africa that were referred to as Negro land, and then they have the rest of the people that were above Sub-Sahara and below it. That's it. Everyone around it was called an African, but the people within that construct were called Negroes. Why? Because they were trying to avoid calling them Israelites. That's what it was. And so what they did, fast forward to the future, they grouped you together with brown skinned Africans and called you all Africans. As a matter of fact, they're Indians that walk in the Elamites, so-called East Indians that are walking up and down the street. Some of them are darker than you, but they don't call them black though. Why is that? Why is that? There are Indians that are darker than you, but they don't call them black.
Yeah, I know.
Why is that?
I know that.
So
thinking nationality.
because it's a made-up social construct so that they can control the narrative, brother.
I got.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
It comes down to them trying to control.
That social construct was made here.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I already know that. So
Okay, I got. This is going to the etymology of the word black. All right, around the time.
Etymology mean basically the word meaning truth
the
in words.
origin of the word.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
The origin of the word.
Okay, so the meaning: fierce,
I heard
terrible,
all this before.
wicked. Figurative senses often come from the notion of without light, moral, or spiritual.
And if you're without light, you're without knowledge.
You're a beast.
All right.
He's likening you to. That's why you're two-fifths of a man.
So me, I would never wear that
I would
shirt.
never. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't. It's all right. I mean, I don't see it as that.
It says
Okay.
gloomy.
Well, it just.
Gloomy.
I don't see how you don't see it after this.
Unlucky.
Saying you
that's
know
their-
that you've been known and you
that's
still wearing that shirt.
Bad.
That's making me
their
question you,
definition.
brother.
Wicked.
You know,
malicious.
that's what their definition is.
That's what it actually
Shrouded
is.
in
And
darkness.
that, it still means the same thing. All that they add,
Okay.
this is what it means.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Malignant.
That was to hide this.
Okay.
So you wear it with pride, and they look at you and they laugh.
Right.
Just so
Ain't
you
nobody
know.
ever laughed at me. They run
Yeah.
from this.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I have a question.
I ain't saying they gonna laugh in your face. They definitely laugh at you. But go ahead.
They gonna laugh any damn way, because that's who they are.
But they ain't laughing at this.
So,
This is what I'm trying to tell you. They ain't laughing. They
see,
scared.
and
of it.
here's the thing.
That's
They ain't
crazy.
coming against that. You can be
Right.
that all day.
They want you
But
to
you
be
say,
that.
oh, we saying they got a problem with us. They ain't
Oh,
got no
yeah.
problem with you.
You
You
see
can be
what I'm
that all
saying?
you want. And they ain't got no problem with you. But you start reading what we reading and talking about what we talking about, that's a problem with us. They ain't got no problem with you because they want you to stay that.
no, okay, I don't.
No,
speak
it
to
ain't
them.
no,
It is
brother. It's
no,
yes.
yes.
Because they don't speak to
They
them.
want
That's
you to
why.
do that. All right.
It's yes, brother.
This is an excerpt out of page 84 from Babylon to Timbuktu.
Yep.
In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with a great slaughter.
This is secular history that can be found in all encyclopedias. All right. Go ahead.
During the
European
period,
did conquer there.
right? During the period from Pompey to Julius, so these are Roman Caesars, right? It has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
And it was way more than 1 million, but they fled into Africa and they set up what you just saw, from Mali all the way to Nigeria, Senegal, all those places. These were those people. All right, the Igbo. All right,
Right.
which is basically the Igbo Nigerians. The Igbo are Hebrew. Igbo is just they're saying Hebrew.
Yeah. So.
All right, so that's what. So they weren't black,
So they
and they
did not-
weren't Africans. They were
did-
Israelites.
So they did not ever mix into the population.
Yeah,
at
but
all?
some of them did. But you got to understand, your race is through your father's bloodline, not your mother's. So you could. So if you went seed up, if you go and seed up some African women, they're not African. They're you. Just because they may look like their mama, but identity and race is identified through the father, not the mother. Never has been. That's a new age thing. That's a new age lie. There's no such thing as half. Now, that's the truth. You either believe the Bible or you don't.
No, I hear what you're coming from, but I think it's part of the truth. There's much more to
I
that, you know what I'm
disagree
saying?
with you, brother. Look,
I agree.
whatever. If you go and lie,
I mean,
one,
I
if
respect-
you go
I
and lie.
respectfully disagree. You know
Okay,
what
well,
I'm
if you
saying?
go and lie with a Japanese woman today, and you create a child with her, the child can look totally Japanese.
I would
It's
I
your.
would not disagree with that. But who's to say that they did not also enter those women too?
They did. And so those ones would be counted as them.
Right.
There's still a separation. There's still a separation.
It can still.
All right. He said there will be a remnant of our seed left. So, do you believe the Bible?
A remnant.
Do you believe the Bible?
Nope.
You don't.
No.
All right. See, because if
I
you
was about to say yes and no, but you would not be able to accept that.
no, because you
double-minded.
can't be double-minded.
Double-minded.
Look, brother, the scripture,
It's a translated book.
the
so
scripture
everything-
everything
of it
is
is
translated
a
to someone like you.
A lot of it is spoken in symbolic language too. That's why it's also in prophecy. That's why it's also prophecy.
Brother,
Everything is not
brother,
meant word for word.
the Bible. Actually, it is.
It
You gotta
gives
know.
a template for you to get a greater understanding.
It's a concordance.
You know what I'm saying? So So that's like I respect the view, but it's not just this particular view.
So
There's
what
many
would
cultures
so
that's
so
spoken
tell
into
me
that.
then what would you get your solid 100% truth from? What you got another book you would go to?
Listen, me personally,
You personally, I'm asking.
I study everything. Man.
That's the problem.
Because
Give me
no,
the scripture.
no,
when it said
because-
many
because
books.
I
Hold
am
on.
the template.
Well, let's
Because I am the template.
So you leaning into
I'm
your
the
own
template.
understanding.
I can do that. Because
Okay, well, yeah, you can.
Because
that-
I'm made in the image and likeness of the
If you
Creator.
made in the image of him, you're gonna follow his word 100%, brother.
Exactly.
Give me,
Who's to say that that's the
give me.
100% word? That's the point that I'm making. I already said that it's a
And then-
template that, you know what, whatever.
Okay, well, have a good day, brother.
Thank
Good luck on your travels.
I got that scripture that Elder Malcolm called through. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 12.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up after this group of
All right.
scriptures.
It says, "And Father, by these my son be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter, and fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man."
That's the whole duty of man, to keep the commandments, man.
That's
All
right.
right, and all them different books, that's why he's confused. He's vibing with one thing, then he's disagreeing with another thing.
Unstable.
All right, but the Bible does not lie. Man lied, and man gave you false images and lies. And then when we bring them out in the Bible, people got a problem. My man had a problem, right? Because the truth stings. It stings, and he got stung. All right, it is what it is, man. All right.
And Elder, I was gonna say, because he had a shirt on of a quote from the dude named Confucius. You know, so he believed more in what these men say more than what the scriptures say.
There you go, man.
And all those things were translated.
But go ahead.
Proverbs 3 and 5. Trust in the Most High with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding.
That's right. So lean not to your own understanding. He's trying to go on that I think and feel. And we don't care about what you think and feel, man. It's what it is, what is, and what is not.
That's very
It's simple as that, man.
That's
It's
very
it's
simple.
yeah or nay, and he was like all over the place, you know. No, it's either yes or it's no, man.
Yep.
There is no in between with the Lord, man. He said if you lukewarm, he'll spew you out of his mouth. That's right. All right. People just can't handle the truth. The Bible tells you what the Lord looks like. It tells you what God looks like. It tells you what the angels look like. But you've been presented false images, and then when you actually hear the words of what it says, you got a problem with it.
Right.
Because what that really means, you got a problem with the Lord, man, not with us.
Yep.
All right, because we're the only transparent organization in America telling the truth. Nobody else is.
Facts.
Nobody else is. You're not gonna get the truth in these churches, man. All right? Like I said, I miss the days when these pastors and these priests and these rabbis used to walk up to us. I miss those days. Because then everyone around can see that we know this book better than them.
That's right.
All right, and we prove them to be liars all the time. To the point where they got a gag order. They don't even want to face us anymore.
Right.
Fuck 'em. I'm done, man. Anybody got a last scripture?
I got
Bring them out, brother.
This is Proverbs 8, and I think I got 2. 8 and 35.
Perfect.
Whosoever findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of Yahweh. 36. But he that sinneth against me wrong his own soul. All they that hate me, they love death.
There you go, man. My man hated death, man, because he don't realize what he just did to himself. At least he repent. My man gonna get a horrible death.
Oh yeah.
All right, because he rejected. It'd have been better if he never heard, man. It'd have been better for him had he never stopped and just kept walking.
Yep.
All right.
As soon as I seen him across the street, I already knew, like,
Yeah, he came over and got a spiritual beat down.
Beat me.
All right. And now he can't, you know, and he walked away.
you're gonna have some
All
nightmares.
right. To prove your cause, just don't stare. You gotta, you know, prove your cause. We're not gonna hurt you.
Right.
You disagree with something said, and then but guess what? We're gonna embarrass you, and then we're gonna actually edify you, and you're gonna walk away with understanding, and you're gonna be like, damn, I didn't know that. Now you know. Now there's no more excuse. Hey, so with that, any more scriptures?
I had Isaiah.
Bring it out, brother.
This is Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
There's no light in them, no understanding, man. All right.
That's right.
You had one.
1 John 5, chapter 10.
Good one.
He that believeth on the Son of Yahweh hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not Yahweh hath made him a liar, because he believeth not the record
that Yahweh have given of his son.
That's a perfect scripture because the Lord gave a record of his son. And where's Cesare Borgia? Right here. Right? Cesare Borgia is not it. All right? That's a lie. That's not the record that the Bible gives. But yet this is the image that everyone knows. Why is that? That's why you have a book of Revelation. Because the Lord had to be revealed when he was going to be revealed in the last days of his true, what he looked like and his true nature. All right? Which is written in the Bible, which no one pays attention to. But everybody's a Christian and a Catholic. All right? Hey, so with that, man, we're going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh.
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakakadash.
What a Baba Ball.